I got to tell you, these tyrants are not going to like what we're about to announce. Hey, what's up, guys? Long Island Audit here, back again with another video. Thank you all for joining me for this live stream. We have a very important announcement. Please take a second to hit the like button and share this video anywhere you can on social media. So I'm going to bring in my business partners and friends and fellow 1 million subscriber creator, Lackluster, and David. How you guys doing today?
Hey, how are you, Sean? Good to see you.
I'm still waiting on those secrets for the million club, man. Still wait. We can talk about that offline. But anyways, I want to get right into it. I don't want to make this live too long, but we have a very important announcement to make. David, do you want to go ahead? David is the CEO of Attorney Shield. For those of you who haven't been paying attention, we were all tired of seeing law enforcement officers violate people's rights and be undereducated on our constitutional rights and the law, just basic law, reasonable suspicion, probable cause, for searching and everything else. So we came up with Attorney Shield, and it's been working out great, but we have a new feature that we want to announce to everybody. So David, go ahead. I'll give you the honors since you've been working very hard on this.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sean. And Dale, always good to see you too, brother.
Likewise.
Look, so first off, it's been a couple of years since we've been working together, and I'll be honest with you, when this concept was kicked around, you two were the first guys I thought of, right? And I'm so happy to be on this journey with you. But look, Attorney Shield is all about sort of protection, right? If there's a single word, it's about protection. And one thing that we know is that there's protection during the incident and there's protection after the incident, right? And so one thing that we wanted to do, and we've wanted to do this for a while, it just took us a while to get the thing worked out, but it's a situation where if you use the app and a law enforcement officer or officers violate your rights, or even if they just escalate the situation unnecessarily where it's really not warranted, right? And they break, they kick your door in, they drag you out of the car and cause some injuries that makes you have to go to the emergency room, or obviously there's attorney fees behind this if you decide to sue, or you have to mitigate some type of charges that are bogus. Attorney Shield is providing for all of its members a $1,000 benefit, right? And all that means is that if you have out-of-pocket cost as a result of an escalation that wasn't necessary, or a situation where your rights were outright violated, you can file a claim directly from our website. That goes to our third-party administrator, and they'll process that claim. And that claim will upload receipts and this, that, and the other. You'll be reimbursed for that. And so, essentially, under the resources, if you just go to resource, Sean, in the top navigation. Under that is warranty. All of you can read about the warranty, but that button will allow you to submit a claim. But the details of the warranty are all there, right? And so, what are we warranting, if that's a word? We're warranting our promise that by hitting the button and having an attorney on deck will basically cause the police to back off type of illegal or unlawful behavior. And what we've seen that actually happen, right? Now, have we seen that happen 100% of the time? No, but there have been a few cases where the arrest was unlawful, or the situation had some unlawful behavior in it. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to say, look, we're here to protect you during the incident, but we actually should be also protecting you after the incident. And so right now, every member automatically gets that $1,000 benefit if that situation occurs. Probably starting January, February of next year, you'll be able to buy up for greater or higher coverage. And so right now it's $1,000, but for essentially, a few extra bucks, per month. You can buy up to 2,500. You can buy up to 5,000 with a maximum of 10,000. And we're working on getting that up to 25,000, because what we know is, especially if your rights are violated, the challenge with dealing with a rights violation is you got to hire an attorney. And attorneys generally don't do those pro bono. Those aren't like personal injury attorneys or the tort attorneys, the ambulance chasers, right? Where they'll work your case and then, take 33-40% of the settlement, right? Civil rights cases, you have to pay the guy or the gal. And what we know is that the number around that ranges between $10,000 and $25,000 just to get, the thing completed, right? You're not going to get out of the door. You're not even going to get the party started for less than 5,000. And so we're working on
a settlement too. That's not counting like if you go to depositions and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Right.
Those things.
Criminal attorney, $25,000. A good criminal attorney.
Easily.
No one knows the cost of attorneys better than me. As in the last 4 years, I have hired so many attorneys from different states, and hey, Lack, this benefit, the $1,000 protection, the warranty. This could have helped you out even. I know you're behind the desk most of the time, but I saw the video where they were investigating you for some Discord or fictional. I don't know what was going on there. I saw that video. This could have helped you out too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I assume so in some way, shape. That was pretty wild.
Yeah. So that was at the end of the day, you never. I got
some. Yeah, I have some examples of interactions with law enforcement where the $1,000 warranty protection would have helped in these situations.
Yeah, let's roll this clip, because what we'll talk about is what could have triggered this warranty. Let's go.
Right, perfect.
Hold on, is this the right video?
Let's see.
That's the right video. I don't know about you, Sean, but I'm not getting any audio on that.
Does chat have audio?
Are you not hearing it?
I'm not getting any audio.
Chat doesn't.
Oh, you're not? Let me know in the chat if you guys are hearing it. No audio. Interesting. I put to share audio. Don't know. All right, while I work on this, David just.
Well, let me just describe this video, because some of you guys may have seen this. And so one of our members, a gentleman named, Robert Ward, Bob Ward, there was some call that was made into 911 that somebody was brandishing a weapon on the highway. And these guys show up to Bob's house, and they want to search the car. They want to search the house. You know how these guys are. And he hits the button right there in his front yard, and he gets Giovanna. Let's see if this thing plays and gets on. There we go.
Magazine pointed at them from a vehicle that's here in the driveway. The people that are here in the driveway, the police officers got here and saw them go into the house. And we want to try to confirm whether there's somebody in the house with an extended magazine pistol that was waving it at people or not. I explained to your client that, one, we could get his permission to look for that specific style weapon, or we could apply for a search warrant. But first, we would probably do a protective sweep of the home to make sure there's nobody in there pointing a gun at us right now. But that's where we're at.
Yes, sir. So, Mr. Ward, you understand that they don't have a right to search your home without a warrant, correct?
I told them they cannot enter the house without a warrant. Well, there's a difference between entering the house and doing a protective sweep to make sure there's not somebody in there pointing a gun at me right now. We wouldn't be searching the house. We'd be first doing a protective sweep, making sure there's no other people in the house that would do us harm. Then after that, we would apply for a search warrant to search the house for evidence.
Yes, sir. But you understand that he doesn't have to give you permission to enter his home unless you have a warrant.
Correct. For searching it. The protective sweep, I believe there's plenty of case law saying that we can make sure there's nobody armed and dangerous in there wanting to hurt us. Again, not to search the house, but to enter for a protective sweep.
it is his private property. So unless you have a search warrant, you don't have a right to enter his home.
Okay, we might agree to disagree on that point for entry, but anyway, we'll apply for a search warrant, and as long as these people all stay out here, maybe we don't need to do a protective sweep, and we'll just apply for the search warrant. So, all right, very good. Thank you.
No worries.
A protective.
That was one of the best.
Yeah.
Frankly, and a protective sweep isn't a thing, by the way.
all in the name of officer safety. That's what it always comes down to. It's always to protect them.
Yeah,
I have to make sure step out of the car because officer safety, XYZ, identify yourself because officer safety, because your name is going to make me feel more safe. It's ridiculous. It's all ridiculous.
it is. Imagine in America where they could just search your house because of officer safety. That's crazy.
I mean, what would be the point of the
Could be inside with a gun.
They'd be all up in our houses every day.
Yeah. And all you have to say is there might be some random guy in there pointing a gun at me right now. I don't know that. So in order to make sure that I'm not having a gun pointed at me, I have to go and do a protective sweep on your home. Don't worry, I'm not searching it though. Just if I see some drugs in the corner, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. So let's break this down. So Giovanna, the attorney who handled that case, she was successful. You noticed she did there. It was like third time's a charm. And so at the third time, he finally gave up and said, we will agree to disagree. But they never searched the house. They never applied for a search warrant. And the whole thing de-escalated from there, luckily. But let's just say that if they did. So what I know about Bob, based on the video that he did with you, Sean, I've never met him, but he seems to really be serious about protecting his rights, which everybody should be. He would have never agreed to that search. He would have never gone up to his house and opened the door and let those guys in. They would have had to basically bust his door down in order to do the sweep. That would have created damage to his home. And in that situation, because that would have been a clear violation of his Fourth Amendment rights, he would have received up to $1,000 to repair his property, right? And so that's essentially what we're getting at, is that the protection should, in our minds, extend beyond the incident itself if the police do something that violates your rights. And so we're working on some other things, but this is the first step toward creating additional protections, both, we're trying to create steps to create protections before, during, and after. So now we've got the during and after, and we'll continue to expand on the during and after, but we also have some things in the works for the before, right? And so in that particular situation, it's completely ridiculous, but Bob would have gotten some financial relief there.
Right. And listen, it's always important that, I know more than anybody how expensive cases can be. And $1,000 is $1,000, and we're working to get that up to 25,000, where you can supplement that. But, any little bit helps. And I have no doubt, this is why I'm a true believer in Attorney Shield. And I'm so proud to be a part of it, is because I have no doubt that officer would have done a protective sweep on that man's home if it wasn't for
If Giovanna wasn't there.
If Giovanna wasn't there, right? So I'm going to show another officer paparazzi. I think it's this one.
This is a good one.
A warning for that. I'm not giving you a citation for that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to conduct a field information on you. Okay. Pretty much what it is, I'm going to take a picture of you. Okay. All it is me conducting an investigation saying I spoke with you on this traffic stop, and that's all it is.
Hi, Deputy Walker.
Hello.
My name is Amy Root. I'm Barden. Do you need any of my information before speaking with me?
No, I don't. I'm okay. He's pretty much better be free to go. All I'm doing is conducting a field information on him. He's going to be given a warning for speed, and that's all it is. Okay.
He's respectfully declining to be photographed.
Okay. Well, he's in public. Okay, so I can photograph really anyone. We also have body cameras, so that's capturing your face and his whole interaction as well.
He's respectfully declining to be photographed at this time for the file that you have.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so we couldn't show that entire video because the member didn't give us permission to show his likeness, and so we could only use that particular part. But here's the deal. First off, that was an illegal stop right from the beginning. I don't know what they were fishing for, but the guy wasn't speeding, which is why he only got a warning, right? I think they were surprised to see an attorney on deck. But essentially, here's a trend that we're seeing out there where after the incident, you know, officers will say, especially if you're on foot, they'll say, well, can I see some ID so that I can document, you know, the fact that I stopped you, the yada, yada, yada. That's sort of a smoke screen for them just wanting to get your ID, by the way. So don't ever do that if you can help it. But the secondary thing that we're starting to see is these departments are starting to ask to take a photograph of you. So beyond you being on their body cam, they're asking to take an actual still photo of you. We call it a photo shoot or a field photo shoot, if you will. And what's happening there is that the departments that are doing that explain that they need to take a picture of you so that when you show up in court, they can verify that you're the person that they stopped. Now that's absolutely ridiculous because they already have your ID, right? Why do they need to take a picture of you? And so in this particular instance, this could have escalated, and we've seen these escalate where people refuse to sort of pose for a picture, and the police sort of get, you know, frankly, butthurt. And they escalate the situation and even threaten arrest, right? And then people generally become fearful and allow for their picture to be taken. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but it really kind of is. And the reason why I say that is because, first off, this guy should have never been stopped in the first place. But secondarily, once they sort of wrapped up everything or whatever, taking that picture, even though it only took it would have taken maybe a few more moments, right, is an unnecessary extension of the time it required them to do their jobs. And frankly, that's a civil rights violation. And so in this situation, had the police officer insisted on taking the picture and forcing the gentleman to cooperate, and that escalated the situation where they, you know, sort of restrained him or harmed him or injured him in some way where he had some type of post-incident expense, this guy would have qualified to claim reimbursement with the warranty. And so these are things that, you know, we're out there trying to protect our members from, but we can't always guarantee that it happens because police are going to do what police do.
Yeah, always. I mean, it's crazy. I want to go back. Like, did any cops ever reach out to you about that, or is it just reached out to one of your subscribers about these harassing calls they've been receiving?
No, it was multiple people who had called after that incident, but they never reached out to me. No.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That was insane, and that's in New York too. You know, I plan on stopping by there. I want to have a conversation with them. I think that'd be cool. We have another example here. I'm gonna bring it up right now. Let's see.
So, just a warning for tag cover, because that's typically all I ever do for tag covers. Just a warning, didn't cite you. You have a bill attitude or anything like that. But you're a member of attorneybutton.com, Free Shield. Advise you to follow those rules right there that are on the driver checklist. Remain calm. Be respectful of law enforcement.
Are you going to give me my stuff and in this traffic stop, or are you going to extend it?
Be respectful.
First responders.
Okay.
So,
are you going to hold my stuff and extend this traffic stop? Yes, you are. You're holding my stuff.
Stop. It's got the reason for the stop.
Okay.
It's got my information, my ID.
Okay, I can read.
And my vehicle.
Okay, I can read.
I do this with everyone else.
Okay. Well, I don't need you to cop explain. You can hand me my stuff.
I'm not going to treat you any different
Okay.
than I treat you.
Okay. Well, I do have places to go, so I appreciate it if you wrap the traffic stop up.
I was the one violating the law.
Okay, great. Okay.
You're the one now.
Okay.
Just let him finish.
If you have any questions, concerns, or complaints, feel free to call County Brighton and speak with the clerk or front desk or one of my spirits. Okay? I've placed all your information back inside this just like you gave it to me, as well as your running citation. So, make sure you stay in compliance with the law and have a safe night.
Okay, so
I just want to address something really quick. I think this is funny. Are these paid actors? No, I know some of the Attorney Shield video might seem a little bit, weird, because why would law enforcement act this way? I get it, but no, they're not paid actors.
That's a really interesting comment, and I appreciate that, but I can certify that this is real. So first things first, the gentleman who's there, he is a big advocate of protecting your rights, right? Matter of fact, he's ordered a huge decal for the back of his window that is much larger than the one that comes with the membership and the portfolio. But at the end of the day, he should have never been stopped, and which is again why he only got a warning, because there's no evidence that he committed any type of violation. This was a fishing expedition for his window tint and for like a license plate cover, which is kind of ridiculous, but they're going there. But this is another situation where the officer unlawfully extended the stop to be a smartass. And essentially what he was doing is he was reading the language on the Attorney Shield driver kit portfolio that basically says, be respectful, this, that, and the other. And Michael is one of those guys. Michael is one of those guys who doesn't have a lot of patience for police. And look, there's good reason for some people not to have a lot of patience with police. But had that officer taken offense, and we've seen this before, where they're going above and beyond what's necessary for the stop to keep you detained, and people are saying, look, I got to get to work, or I need to get to where I'm going, and the officers take offense to that and escalate the situation. In that particular situation, Michael Terry would have been warranted to file a claim for whatever his expense was. And if you notice, he had his window sort of part way down, and that's something that some people do, because you'll hear later on in this live cast that we'll talk about some things that you need to do to keep to protect yourself during a traffic stop. And Michael's kind of following some of that by keeping his window cracked, because you don't want the police just sort of observing everything in your car, especially if you got paraphernalia, legal or illegal, right? But whatever the case, the officer could have escalated that situation, and it would have been justified to file a claim for any type of expenses that resulted from that interaction, so to speak. So, but definitely not an actor. That was a real situation, and we were actually sort of amused by the officer promoting us this cop-splaining. That was great, we think.
Yeah. So I saw a comment here earlier. I just wanted to address it. The $1,000, the protection warranty, if the officer escalates or violates our members' rights while using Attorney Shield, and is that $1,000 is included in the membership, right?
It is included in them. So every member gets that $1,000. Beginning next year, probably January, February, each member will be able to buy that up roughly at $1 increments per month per 1,000, so that they get extra coverage for that benefit.
Right. And I just want to also, I see some comments of why I don't use Attorney Shield on audits. I get this question a lot, and I just like to address it. Attorney Shield was not made for me, at least not me while I'm auditing. I've used Attorney Shield before when I've been pulled over and they retaliated against me. I've used Attorney Shield. It's on my channel. I guess I'll link it in the description if you want to see me use it. But for regular auditing, that's not what it's designed for. It is designed to protect people's rights during police initiated contact. And the biggest thing to me is traffic stops when you're get out of the car, and then you don't understand that the Supreme Court and all their glorious wisdom in Pennsylvania v. Mims says that you actually do have to get out of the car because the officers are scared scared shitless or whatever, I guess, apparently, officer safety reasons, and then they break your window and they do this and they do that. So it's important to understand your rights. It's important to understand basic law, something that law enforcement doesn't understand themselves. So I wouldn't expect the average person to understand it. Law enforcement only understands the parts that are advantageous to them. So that's why Attorney Shield is important for people that are just getting a traffic stop, domestic violence situation, a car accident, things of that nature. So I just wanted to clear that up. It's not meant for auditing, but you can still watch. I got a brand new one on Sunday.
I continue that, but also address another thing that we hear out there in the comments. So on the auditing, I'm going to extend sort of Sean's comments by saying if we supported auditing as a part of this platform, everybody would become an auditor, right? There's a lot of people out there that want to audit. They the craft because it is a craft. It's a very unique craft. It requires discipline. It requires patience. It requires educating yourself, right? It's the thing that you do under you're basically putting your own freedom at risk. Those sort of the government corruption and some of the things that occur in government that really shouldn't be occurring. Think about it. If we said, okay, everybody can audit with Attorney Shield, our attorneys would be inundated with calls by auditors during regular business hours at courthouses, police stations, this, that, and the other. And that doesn't mean that we won't have a membership for auditors later on, but we need to understand what the needs are in that community, what type of you need, because to me, auditors only know as much as attorneys know, right? And so
you should, if you're going to do it, you should know at least something. Right?
yeah, the basics. But there's some specialized needs around that. And so, it is on our sort of radar to provide some type of solution to auditors. But, look, we're literally an hour and a half after launch. Give us a little bit of time to figure one out. The second thing I want to address is when we announced this some time ago, and I don't really know where this kind of came from, but we have a feature on the mobile app that when you're an active attorney, in order to end the video, you have to enter sort of a pin to end the video. And it's not, the pin is really something that you set up so that when you hit end, you intend to end the video. You enter your pin to confirm that. It's a confirmation that you want to stop the video. I want to clarify something. It's possible for us to basically lock the phone so it not be turned off and so that the app cannot be ended until you enter that pin. The only problem is technically it's possible. The only problem with that is that Apple and Google will not let you do that. I'm just going to sort of put that out there right now. Akin to hijacking the phone or hacking the phone or hacking capabilities. So imagine a situation where you're on Attorney Shield and you forget your PIN and we don't let you power down your phone or in the app. They're not going to allow us to do that. The PIN is designed to be a deterrent for police officers. And so there's a video that we're going to drop today. So for those who aren't subscribed to the Attorney Shield channel, subscribe, because this video was one of the first, it was the first legit, because we got a lot of butt dials when we went live, people just trying to check out the app. But this was our first incident after we went live. So it literally took place like a week after we went live. And so it took us a while to get an actual legit call. And this was an arrest that was happening. And I won't tell you any more because the video drops on Friday, but the video ends with the captain of this department attempting to end the video. And he assumed that this guy had some, FaceTime security feature going on because he didn't know that it was Attorney Shield because it was brand spanking new. And so he wasn't able to end the video, and he requested that the attorney, the LFR, the legal first responder, end the video. And so you'll see that in the video on Friday. But at the end of the day, it's built to be a deterrent. And it's also built to be a foolproof, absolute documentation that if you didn't end the video and somebody ended it on your behalf, by force stopping the app or by shutting down your phone, but you weren't able to basically communicate with your attorney while being questioned, that's a Sixth Amendment violation. And so that PIN is designed to provide irrefutable proof that you were not the one that ended that connection with your attorney. So I just wanted to explain that, because a lot of that's going around, and we're still looking at ways to beat Apple and Google on that, but give us a little time.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to bring the 4 must-dos up. We'll go through that. I don't want to make this video too long. Remember, you could always sign up for Attorney Shield using my link. I prefer to use my link. Not that I get paid, some commission. I'm a partner with the company. So, but I prefer to use my link because I want to get my numbers up past Lackluster's, because Lackluster
is beating you.
Don't use Lackluster's link. Well, they both give you 10% off the subscription, but I think you'll be more satisfied using my link, which is in the description. Thank you. Let's see here.
Before we do the 4 thing, I know that.
Go ahead. I'm waiting for you to talk.
What we had talked about also rebuilding the app for Android and the Apple Play Store. Correct?
Do we want to go? So, Sean, do we want to go through the roadmap real quick, because we can address what Lack talked about?
Yeah, sure. We can go through.
Throw out the
and then expanding
2026 Consumer Direct Product Roadmap. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
It's on the. It's the first page of the document.
Yeah, it's right before the 4.
Yeah, hold on. Oh, got it.
Perfect.
Let's bring it up, because it's important, because listen, I understand that a lot of my supporters, subscribers, and Lackluster as well, we want to keep you guys updated. It's important because you guys are partners with us. You have invested and you believe in the mission. So we want to keep you updated. So let's do that. Show entire screen.
Yeah. The mission is important. I think if we imagine a future where...
Can everybody see this and read this okay? Let me know in the chat.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
And it's readable pretty well. But, imagine a future where like a third of the people have Attorney Shield, and the police know they have to behave.
It only works. It works. It becomes more effective as it scales. Because now it becomes more known to law enforcement officers that Attorney Shield exists. I see it as insurance. It's like, in case it ever happens, if nothing ever happens, I mean, you're lucky you didn't get your rights violated, but you would want it if you didn't need it. Right. And we could talk about, somebody brought up something about AI, and I remember I
can talk about AI as well. We'll run through these real quick though. And so expanded warranty, we already talked about that. So I won't talk about that anymore, but those who want to read about it, you can read about it, right? So we are delivering a new updated Android and iOS apps. And so when we initially launched, we launched with mobile apps that were built on technology called React Native. And I won't get into the details of that, but React Native is not sort of mimics the native development tools that Google and Apple provide in order to build apps. And so React Native works really well, but it has some limitations with respect to some of the things that you can do on the device. And so what we're doing is we're in the process. We've already rewritten the Google app, and so the Swift app or the Android app is already rewritten, and we're running through trials and testing on that. And we're in the process of finalizing the Swift Apple app. But what that does is it's written into the Apple and Android native language, right? And all that means is that it gives us greater access to the services that exist on the phone that we otherwise can't access using React Native. And for those techies out there, I know you're enjoying this, but not everybody else is, so I'm gonna stop there. And so what all that means is, one of the things that we've always wanted to do is, right now we have the ability for you to upload your driver documents or any documents for your driving, right? And that includes insurance, driver license, and registration, right? We have documents for any type of medical conditions, any type of scripts that you've written, had written by a doctor to sort of prove that whatever you're in possession of that might otherwise be illegal is actually legal. And then we have gun information. And so we want you to upload your gun permit, because in some states you have to disclose that you have a weapon on your person or in the vehicle. Some states you don't have to disclose, but it's always helpful to have that information with you for you 2A type guys, right? And I'm a 2A guy too. And so all day long. And so what the app does today is we ask you to upload those documents so that you don't have to minimize the app and go to your Geico or your USAA, app to show your insurance, because when you minimize the app today, it cuts video. We don't lose the connection, we just lose feed. And so once you bring the app back up, the feed comes back and it's all good. But we don't want to lose any feed. Every bit of information we catch, we want to keep. So what the Android and Apple native apps allow us to do, what you're going to get next year, is it allows you as the user to minimize the app. And what it does is it floats around, right, on your desktop, and you can open any other app and it's still floating around. The video is still feeding, this, that, and the other. We don't get interrupted. And so if you happen to not upload your documents into the Attorney Shield app and you have to minimize the app, the video feed stays active and you can actually still see the feed yourself. You can even, through that little floater, you can hang up and it'll bring back up the app, and you'll have to enter your PIN. But those are some things that we're doing. It also gives us greater ability to make the performance better, right? And so you're going to see faster response. There's a number of things that we will pick up by going native. And so that whole project will be available users both on Apple and Google by the March timeframe. You'll see Google come out first. That'll probably be February, and then March will be Apple. So that's one thing. Any comments on that, Dale or Sean, before I move on to the expanded legal practices? Okay, cool.
Nope. Thank you.
Hey, cool. So the expanded legal practices, here's what we recognize. And I'm going to tell you guys, we've always wanted to do expanded legal practices. And all that means is right now we're focused on police initiated contact, but we're building a program, a process, and the tech around you being able to contact an attorney for things other than police initiated contact. And so if you have a question about something that happened at work and you want to talk to an attorney about, hey, my boss did this or HR told me that, you can call an attorney on Attorney Shield app. Or maybe a state law, or maybe a debt collector is calling you, who knows, right? But whatever the case, we want to expand legal practices. And I'm going to tell you why this got accelerated. We actually hired a new attorney, and she somehow missed the fact that it has to be police initiated contact. And a member called in because his boss was giving him a hard time about coming back to work after some medical leave. And so he was coming back with a discharge from his doctor that said he was okay to come back to work, and his boss was being a jerk, right? So he hit the button. And so it just so happened that he got one of our attorneys who have expertise in employment and labor laws. And she took care of that situation. And by the end of the video, the boss is kissing the employee's ass, essentially, right? And I looked at that video and I was like, we got to do that, right? And so talk to the product team, and the product team's like, we can put together something and we can expand that out. We can find the guys to support that. We need to design the tech such that we show the availability for those various legal practices, so that when those attorneys are on deck and on the platform, you'll see that there's somebody available to talk to you about employment, or you'll see that somebody's available to talk to you about estate law or what have you, so to speak. And so that's something that's coming in 2026, and we're super excited about it. There's other things coming in 2026 that aren't on this list, but we're unsure about when they're going to come. But we do hear a lot about AI. And so AI will never replace the legal first responder, the attorney, because none of the machine can't give you, it can give you information, but it can't really sort of provide you counsel, right? Because it's not barred, right? And so one thing that AI cannot replace is attorneys in that respect. However, what we want to do is we want to provide sort of a legal chat feature. We've been in the process over the past year and a half, training basically a legal chat GPT, right? And all it really does is it spans across not only criminal law and traffic law, but any type of law, right? It'll even tell you how to freaking change a tire depending on your car. So we even added that in there because some of the people out there who weren't born when I was born don't know how to do that, right? But essentially, we want to provide additional features for you guys to go in and be able to ask general questions. And then once you ask those general questions, you can be better prepared to talk to one of the actual live attorneys about the legal practice area that you need to know more about. And so those are just some things that we're doing. Got some other stuff that I'll talk about, but I wanted to address the AI since that came up.
Okay, so let me bring the 4 things must do, and then we will wrap it up. Oof. I'm not the fastest today, guys.
That's
okay. I'm a little under the weather. I almost got arrested. I'm a little under the weather. I almost got arrested today. It was an eventful day for me in Massachusetts. I just doxed.
Hey, while we're waiting on that, I got a question for you, just to go back to the warranty a little bit. When I told you guys, I'd like to hear from you, by the way, because I didn't really ask you how you guys felt. When I told you guys we were doing the warranty thing, right, where we provide the additional protection after the fact, what were your thoughts? Were you like, or were you like, man, that's freaking awesome? What was your initial thought about that?
For me, I was super excited because that's the one thing I thought the app was missing was the aftercare portion. And I would love to see, I think it's like, the first baby step towards something even bigger. And eventually maybe we can get it to a point where we're even providing attorneys to handle criminal and civil cases and really going for like the full scope of.
That's the next step.
That's what I'm looking forward to. So when you told us that we were finally doing this, I'm
anything that benefits our supporters, our members, I'm good with it. I'm excited about it. I know attorneys are expensive. Your car gets towed unlawfully. That's expensive. That's like $500, isn't it? So, anything that helps the members of Attorney Shield, anything that helps my subscribers, I'm down for it. And I think it's a great idea. And I'm excited to see what comes next. So let's get into the 4 must-dos when using the app.
Yeah. So here's the deal. After a year and a half of looking at, footage and videos and whatever, we wanted to sort of let the community know sort of some must-dos whenever you're dealing with police or the potential for police contacting you or stopping you. And so, first off, especially if you're using the Attorney Shield app, but even if you have a dash cam or you're using your smartphone, the police have body-worn cameras to film you. You need to have a camera to film them, right? And so what we see a lot, and it's inadvertent and it just happens, but what we see a lot is when members are on with the attorneys constantly have to remind them to orient the camera toward what the police are doing versus what you're doing, right? And so that
you guys should know this. I'm sorry. Hello, every single week at the officer.
Yeah,
and so that's why Attorney Shield's great, right? Because you're in a high stress situation, and that's another reason why I love it is because when I don't get nervous around the police, as you could tell, but I see people all the time. They get really nervous. They send me emails how, hey, I was really nervous when I got stopped by the police, and it's good to have somebody there, somebody who's knowledgeable, somebody who can de-escalate, who can advise you. So that's why I love it. But
yeah. Again, it's not to me. The service is for you, but the footage is not for you. It's for the police. We want to see what they're doing. We want to hear what they're saying. We want to see how they're reacting. It's important for the attorney to see their behavior as well. And so I just wanted to remind everybody of that, do your best to orient your phone toward what the police are doing, especially if they're at your window. A lot of people have their phones on a cradle or something, in their car.
No.
Just orient that thing toward the window. Okay.
Right.
The second thing is, this is actually really one of the most important. So this isn't any order of importance, but this is the most important. Defer to your attorney. Now, here's the deal. What we see about half the time is the member will not be quiet, right? And I don't understand that. You're paying for a service. You're paying for an attorney to be on deck with you, to advocate for you, and this, that, and the other. But you don't want to you don't want to cede the stage to the attorney, and it's in your best interest to do so. And so you have to know that the less you say, the better, right? And so the best way to say less is to have someone representing you in that moment who can communicate. Because here's the deal: if you're by yourself and you don't want to talk to the police, and you say, I'm not answering any questions, they're going to kind of take offense to that and maybe even give you a hard time, right? But if you've got an attorney on the phone and you're saying, look, at the advice of my attorney, it's not my fault, it's their fault. Advice of my attorney, they've advised me not to answer any questions until, they sort of give me sort of the thumbs up to do so. And so I'm going to let them sort of deal with you. So if you have any questions, deal with them. Let the attorney speak. And a lot of our members do that well. Some members don't do it as well. A handful are terrible at it. There are times where the attorney cannot get a word in sideways, right? Don't do that. That works against you versus for you. So I just want to remind everybody of that. And again, add emergency contacts. You never know when the police are going to decide to arrest you, right? And so a lot of times you get pulled over. You don't know that they're pulling you over for a DUI or, some type of, impairment because you haven't been drinking. But the police think you have, right? And you guys know how a field sobriety test work. Those things are the most ridiculous, difficult things to do. Walk this line, do this crazy stuff, right? I couldn't do that. If I were like jacked up on Adderall and had like totally laser focused attention, so to speak. And so at the end of the day, you never know what's going to happen. And so be sure, look, the app gives you 2 emergency contacts. I recommend you use them both. Right.
And I love it. And I, this is something that's really, when I used it I used the app one time when I got pulled over in retaliation for filming the police officer. And it was a great experience. It's great documentation. It's, that the attorney was, again, I know a lot about the law myself. I'm not an attorney, but I've been doing this long enough. But it was still good that I was just able to have the attorney there. But my emergency contacts were like, hey, you got stopped. You all right? What's going on? So, it's good. It automatically notifies them. So that's something really cool. And especially if you have kids. My kids are really small, but if you have kids and that are like, 17, 18, and they're right out riding their bike and they get stopped by the police, they use Attorney Shield, and then you'll immediately be notified. Like, what's more important than our kids? My kids will definitely have Attorney Shield no matter what when they're, they're teens. There's too many cops ready to hem them up for every little thing, riding their bike and, on the side of the road and everything. So that's one of the best features for sure.
Just know here in Florida, there were 383 elementary school kid arrests in 2019, right? They're going after the kids too. So just be careful out there. The emergency contacts are important. I'm going to give you just one quick example. One of our members had a family plan and his daughter remembered to hit the app. She was making a right-hand turn. There was a pedestrian and she struck the pedestrian. Nobody was hurt terribly, but she was panicked, right? And so what we recall is she's on the video with the attorney and she's asking the attorney to get a hold of her dad. We actually, from support, after the attorney notified support, we're actually trying to physically call her dad because we've got the emergency contact information. He's not picking up his phone. And the reason for that is that he got the emergency contact notification via text with the geolocation link. He happened to his GPS and he's there in 10 minutes, right? And he was just driving like a bad trying to get there and he wasn't any calls while that was happening, but he got there for his kid. And I thought that was friggin' awesome. And he was just so happy to be there for her. Turned out that everybody was okay, but that's why the emergency contact feature matters. That geolocation link will tell you exactly where they hit the button. And then, of course, upload your driver documents, at least until we get this 2.0 app out. And all I mean by that is that if your apps are in the, or if your documents are in the Attorney Shield app and you click on that document icon and show your documents to the officer, two things happen there. We don't lose video feed in the current mobile app that we have today. That goes away in the future, but for now, that's a good reason to upload your docs. The second thing is when you're showing the police officer your documents, we get a really good look at their face. And, you know, there's some things that we're going to do with that information later. But to be sure,
I mean, we really should. I mean, law enforcement's building a database on all of us. Has anybody seen, you know, there's flock cameras everywhere now.
Everywhere.
Yeah. There's flock cameras everywhere, and they're taking photos of your license. If you go, I think that what they're doing in Texas, if you go like back and forth from like one city to another daily, let's say you work in another city, that's suspicious, and then they will flag you, and then, oh, you touched the middle line, we're going to pull you over, valid traffic stop, and then they're going to call Border Patrol, run a dog, put you through so much hassle, all because of this police state that we're getting in. Again, it's getting real bad out there, guys. So you got to want to protect your constitutional rights. You got to want an attorney, you know, in 30 seconds. So that's just, again, my advice. Do what you'd like.
Exactly. So anyways, that's our thoughts. You know, we have other advice about how to handle. We put out a blog, so check out our blog, a new article. Check it out. It talks about keeping your uncluttered because you don't want police, having a reason to assume that something is contraband and searching your car. Make sure your window tint's legal. Make sure, they're coming out with laws now where they're very specific about how, tag covers, right? Even the ones that doesn't have a full cover, but the border, right? And here in Florida, right, that they are doing things that give license to police to pull almost everybody over. And so just be careful with that.
I'm telling you guys, Florida's police state. Nobody wants to listen.
It is. And, on those cameras, this is a true story. A colleague of mine, his daughter was leaving work, worked at Panera's, heading over one of the bridges here. And apparently something happened in that area. Well, they referenced those cameras, ran her plate, showed up at their house, was in the driveway, flying around their vehicle. My colleague comes out of the house. What are you doing? Right. And that could have been a potentially volatile situation because he's a 2A guy, right? He literally, I would have walked out with my weapon. Right. And you know how that works is if you've got your weapon and you don't know that it's a police officer and they see you, you may not make it through the night. And so, again, this police state thing is kind of, I can go down that rabbit hole if I want one day, but it's real. Right. So, anyway,
that's what to address this. Why not have an option? I just wanted to address this. Why not have an option for just husband and wife? We have family plans, so that is an option. Just wanted to.
It is an option, and what I'd recommend is that we can't accommodate every particular configuration of family out there. But if it's just you and your wife, then give the third one to your brother, to your nephew, or to whomever. Right? That's pretty easy. They'll need it. Right.
Right.
So, anyways.
All right. So I just want to say thank you to MJM 6453, 50 Long Island Audit memberships. That is very generous. Thank you. So 50 new members. So welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club. Something I want to say is that I saw somebody's comment. So Sean, you posted sort of the post that this was going to happen, and somebody put out there, and I hope you're watching because I think it's a great idea. Somebody put a post out there that we should add speakers to the mirror of the car so that you don't have to roll down your windows and the police don't have an excuse to say, I can't hear you. Yeah. I thought that was freaking genius, right?
Well, and so, or maybe, just like a speaker that goes, that just
an intercom. Remember the old
modular. modular. You know, just all you have to roll down the window a little bit, put the speaker out a little thing, and then just roll the window back up.
And then roll it back up, right?
Yeah.
Here's the deal. These types
that's a great idea. I might do that myself. Yeah.
These types of ideas are great. And so to me, don't ever shy away from sort of saying, hey, this would make sense, because I'd never thought of that. And I think that's a great idea. Just make sure your window tint's good. All right.
Yeah. And then just also everybody get dash cameras, please. Dash cameras are important. While I do PSA announcement, dash camera is probably one of the most important things. Every single American should have a dash camera. There is no I know Lackluster and I talked about like trying to get like a cheaper one or whatever built and stuff for everybody.
For a long time, I spent a lot of money trying to figure out.
I know you told me, but it is, because it's so important. It really is. You got to get a dash camera. I mean, the one I use.
Dash cam is a big deal, because to me, a dash cam isn't necessarily just about the police. People,
insurance,
insurance, right? So the deal is just make sure that sucker turns on every time you turn on your car, because you never know what's going to happen. I've never been in an auto accident in my own car. In a rental, yes, but not in my own car. But what I know is that I was backing out in a parking lot in a grocery store, and I laid on the horn because this lady was just blasting out of her parking spot faster than I was, and I was going really careful. And she hit me right now. It's one of those things. But what if I had a dash cam at that time, I would have been able to prove that I laid on my horn to warn her, and it would have otherwise made it her fault. I didn't have that. She changed her story when she started talking to her insurance company, and it was on me. But at the end of the day, it's for your protection in general.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, before I even started auditing or doing any of that, I always had a dash camera, and I got pulled over by a cop, said you ran a red light. And I'm like, you sure about that? I got a camera, and I pointed the camera, and he was like, oh, I'm just going to let you out for a warning. It's funny. Once you mention you have a dash camera, how many warnings the cops will give out.
That's absolutely correct.
It's very interesting. But yeah, for insurance purposes, car theft, there's a whole bunch of reasons why you should get one, and you should get one. But
I will tell you, with respect to dash cams, a little science here. There was a member who got a ticket even though he had a dash cam, and he says, man, I was not speeding. And so here's what the attorney told him, and I thought this was genius. The attorney whipped out some not physics, but geometry, right? He says, well, get your dash cam footage, and basically what you can do is identify a landmark along the highway, and then identify another landmark along the highway, determine the distance between those, and then do the math on how much time it took you to get there, and it'll give you your speed scientifically, right?
Yeah, a bunch of them have GPS now in them that it'll tell you.
Yeah, right. But even that crude thing allowed him to sort of beat his ticket. So anyways, good stuff.
Yeah.
The thing here, Sean, about the raise that we'll probably do this year.
Oh, that's important.
Yeah. So a lot of you guys remember we did a crowdfunding raise. Explain what that kind of is that unless you're a accredited investor, you have very limited opportunity to invest in early stage companies, and we are still what the world would consider an early stage company. We've only been operating for just over a couple of years, live only for a year and a half. And so we did a crowdfunding raise, and this raise isn't like a GoFundMe or anything like that. It literally is an opportunity for you to invest in a early stage company and purchase equity in that company in its very early stages before they have any subsequent rounds or even before they go IPO. We're probably going to do another one of those next year to give existing investors an opportunity to come back and invest more, but also to invite new investors. And so in this particular raise we did on Start Engine, we ended up attracting and acquiring investors. And we raised just over $500,000. And it was a really good opportunity for us to put our name out there and, so to introduce ourselves to the community. But that's something that'll probably happen first, second quarter of next year. And so we'll keep everybody up to date on that. but it was a really cool thing, and a lot of people got to sort of take part and become co-shareholders in this exciting and innovating company. So appreciate it, and keep your ears open and follow us for more information on this.
Yep. And we will announce it, of course. And I appreciate all of my supporters, subscribers who have invested in what I believe to be game-changing in law enforcement and protecting our constitutional rights. So I appreciate that confidence that we're going to make this something that it's already, in my opinion, changing the game. So, and we're going to keep building on it, just like the $1,000 warranty, to help protect you from legal fees and stuff in the case of an escalated situation by the cop or an unlawful arrest, unlawful, constitutional rights violation. So I just want to thank everybody who's been supportive of me, of Attorney Shield, of the channel. And again, don't use Lackluster's link, use my link in the description. And again, nothing to do with money, just bragging rights.
Yeah, we're highly competitive in this.
And I want to say I appreciate you, David. I don't want to go too long on this live. I mean, we're already here an hour, but I just want to say thank you, David, for being a great leader of the company. I wouldn't want anybody else. Thank you, you've done a great job for the company, and you are leading it in a way that is, I see big things in the future. So
yeah, it's huge.
Awesome.
Yeah,
and I appreciate you guys. We wouldn't have been able to be on this journey without you, and so I think we're a great team.
Yep, we are a great team. Well, guys, I will talk to you guys after this. Maybe we'll have a meeting, but I'm gonna be signing off on here. Okay, guys, thanks.
See you all.
All right, see ya.
All right, guys. So I want to say appreciate all the super chats. I want to show everybody really quickly. Thank you to all the super chats. I showed them during the live stream. Thank you for the 50 gifted memberships. That was really cool. If you're a channel member, I really appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys. Just hit the like button and share this video. That's all I really ask for. But everything else, it really helps. As you know, attorneys are expensive. And I almost got arrested today. So stay tuned this Sunday, 10 a.m. I have a brand new audit. I know you guys, I've been on a little bit of a hiatus and, dealing with a lot of personal things and the Fahey situation and criminal charges for that and everything else. So, and I've been exposing a corrupt mayor in Melbourne. So I know you guys have been asking for these, new audits. So every Sunday at 10 a.m., it's going to be a brand new audit for you guys to see. So make sure you have notifications turned on, you're subscribed, and you are ready for that. I love you guys. I really appreciate all the support. I'm going to be getting out of here. Let me know your thoughts on the comment section below. What can we add to Attorney Shield? What can we do to make it better? I would love to hear your feedback. And stay tuned for the fundraising, where you can invest in Attorney Shield starting next year. As always, stay safe. God bless. I'll see you in the next one. Long Island Audit. Peace.